Hello, internet, and welcome back to another speed paint. I swear, a lot of the times DaVinci Resolve hates me. I think it's because it's pulling files from a different drive, and sometimes it's slow and it's laggy and it's crashing, and I'm just like, fuck. So there's when I put all of these video files together at 500 speed each, it was at 40 fucking minutes. And so what happened is there are some video files that are later on in the process of making this piece that I was just like, we're gonna cut you for time. And a lot of it is sped up to 1200 to 2000% speed. A lot of these were done during live streams. So if you ever catch those on my I live stream a lot on YouTube, sometimes Twitch. Most go to Rumble. I've made $1.25 last year on Rumble. So I'm just like, I need money. Your girl is broke. But yeah, here we are with the files, and we're doing this. Was started in 2025. I was doing desktop designs for my Patreon supporters, and I'm also printing them off as postcards that I will be bringing with me to Sonic Expo. I wanted to bring these with me to Sonic Expo 2025. Did not have this specific design done. I'm pretty sure you've seen DeCall and Amy done. I don't think I've done their speed paints overlay talking videos yet. But yeah, that was fun. And I had a great time. And so with this one, because this one is done now, I'll be bringing it with me. So if you're at Sonic Expo 2026, look forward. You will be seeing me. I will have postcards of this design and a couple of my other designs printed out on some postcard paper from Staples. Also, let me know how you feel about the VTuber kind of model, because I have my OBS mic set up pretty good, so I don't have to edit the mic afterwards. So that's what I'm doing. But let me know how you feel about it. And this one, we're 2 minutes in, and I've not discussed the design at all. So this is a Manadow, Manic, and Shadow piece of them having a little date night with crocheting. I thought it would be fun to have them making little crochet things, and Manic's just dude, how are you not getting this yarn tangled up every 5 minutes? Versus Shadow is just sitting there, knitting away, just old hobbies, crafts. I imagine Shadow would be really good at crafts, because I feel like Maria, she would have all this time to do crafts on the arc and stuff. And so they're just well, we sterilized the stuff. It's safer to use. And so now Maria is doing crochet and yarn stuff, and Shadow's just sitting there with her learning. Minic's hand. Minic hand was fun to draw. Okay. Based off my initial sketch. And I did trace over crochet needles off of a random Google image, because I'm just what do crochet needles look like? Let me just placeholder them so I can kind of have an idea of how I want them to look, and yada yada. So that was fun. But Manic and Shadow are fun. I like to think that the two met because Manic is friends with Rouge, both of them being thieves. And every so often, they lock themselves out of the apartment, and if Shadow doesn't have his Chaos Emerald, and he just does not feel getting them inside, Rouge will just text Manic hey, we're locked out, and Manic will come over, pick the lock, and be like, sup, feed me. And that's how Manic and Shadow meet. They meet for Rouge that way. And then every so often, Shadow and Manic will meet like at Tails' place because Tails has his little workshop and Manic works on cars. I imagine Shadow like he's very like, this is my motorcycle, this is my vehicle, I'm gonna take very good care of it, kind of like saying. And here is, I spent so long on the shading, y'all, so long. Like the shading took a minute. It took a long minute on that shading. And me doing like the shading on the hand, changing the color of it, and figuring out like what colors I wanted all the shadows. And then like I did the shadows like 5-6 times, it feels like. And then at a certain point I realized, fuck, I forgot that my light source in this scene is the TV. So like I remember having to go through and redo it all over again. You could also see like the initial sketch, which is from a different live stream. It was not labeled Manadow, because that's the initial sketch of like, I want to make these designs and I want to have that many to have. There's nothing new on Sonic Second. I haven't gotten with Stapler to like record. We both just have not felt like recording the Sonic Second podcast. And I know they've got like a whole bunch of stuff edited. Like I remember her telling me like, I've got all this stuff to edit that I just haven't felt like editing. And so like they didn't want to record more when they still have so much that needs to be edited. So I believe that's what's happening right now. And I haven't been contacted about like anything else. I think they're going to a convention maybe. Every so often, like, we'll watch like TV or something together on Discord, but they're doing great. But back to Manic and Shadow. Oh, that reminds me, it's Sonic June. Happy Sonic June when you're seeing this. I'm recording this in May on Mother's Day. How do we feel about Mother's Day? I'm no contact with my mom, so it's like kind of awkward. I imagine Manic's a big mama's boy though. So Manic is definitely going to like make sure like he's very well behaved. He wants his mom to be very happy. He's definitely getting her a gift. And like if Shadow shows up, he's just like, "What are you doing?" And Manic's just like, "I have Mother's Day today and I need to figure out what to get my mom. And I have all these options." Because Manic knows like, I can't steal a gift for my mom. She'll know it's stolen, then she'll be disappointed. So I imagine Manic's just over here like making things for his mom and all that. Yeah, this is me redoing the shadows once again and going, I hate it, and then I like it, and then I hate it again. I'm very complicated. Just a struggle. I'm figuring out like highlights, remembering that the light source comes from the fucking TV, all that good jazz. But I imagine like Shadow's like, "Oh, I'll help you get a Mother's Day gift for your mom, I guess." And I also like to imagine that the moment Sonic finds out Shadow and Manic are dating, he's just like, "You're dating my brother. Why are you dating my twin brother? Get away from my twin brother." I like to imagine that Sonic is like a kind of like, he's like the chill older brother, but he's still like overprotective, and he's just like, "Sure, we'll go do dangerous stunt and fight Eggman." But he's just like, "What do you mean you're dating? Who are you dating? What's their name? Where do they live? What's their record?" Like, I imagine like Sonic is just like, "Who are you dating again? I don't know how I feel about this." The moment romance comes up, because romance is not Sonic's vibe, he's just like, "I have concerns." And then like Amy's over here like, "Oh, you two like each other? Let me be friend and help you two get to know each other better." Me trying to figure out the opacity on the highlights. That's how I feel about like Amy. Knuckles is just gonna be like, he'll slightly warn Shadow, just like, "Be careful." Sonic's a little overprotective because Knuckles like dated Sonia for a brief period. And Tails is just like, Tails is gonna be gossiping with Amy. Like, he's gonna be watching and he's gonna be like looking. But Tails is like, I'm gonna go over here and gossip with Amy about it. But also, I feel like Tails would like set up some of their dates. Because Tails is like, alright, I will be out of. You can use like this workshop to like work on your van and your motorcycle. And I won't be here from this time to this time. Behave. And then he's just leaving them alone so that they can flirt and he doesn't have to bear too much witness. Which I think is great. And then so Tails is just like, you're gonna treat my brother nicely? Alright? I'm gonna leave you two alone. But I shall be back at this time. So, like, that's how I feel like how Tails is gonna deal with it. Though Tails, Shadow just physically punches Tails a lot. And I feel like Manic's just gonna, like, dude, he's like 8. And that's how I feel about it. And then Alina's gonna have misgivings because it's just like, this boy tried to kill her son, like her other son, Sonic, on multiple occasions. But Shadow's very well mannered. He's polite when he wants to be. He's a bit curt, but he's like polite. And so I think Alina is just gonna be like, can you teach my son manners? Can you teach Manic manners? So polite. And so, like, yeah. And then who else? Sonia. Sonia's reaction. Sonia, I feel like, will have seen Shadow hit on him because, like, he's attractive. And Shadow's just going to, like, ignore her or, like, reject her outright. And then she's gonna find out that he's dating Manic. And it's just like, oh, he's gay. And I feel like Sonia would put try to put them in like matching outfits. Shadow will not play along with this. Cause like I don't think Sonia and Rouge would get along. I think they would be like a little bit catty at first, but they both really like fashion, so like they'll get along if Amy's there as like a mediator in between. But like once the two both realize, oh, you dated Knuckles, I kind of like have this love-hate flirty relationship with him and just have the two like bond over like how silly and stubborn Knuckles is all the time, and then also over their love of fashion. Sonya doesn't approve of Rouge's stealing, and Rouge is like, I am totally cool with you dating Manic. We know each other from like thievery shit. And Rouge is just like, oh my god, you're dating. You have a relationship with someone. So I feel like Rouge would like tease Shadow often over their relationship. That's how I feel. This Speedpaint has just turned into me rambling about how I feel about it. And also you can see me, I spend forever on this fucking yard. And there's more video footage of this yard. And I think because like a lot of the ending video footage is me working on this damn yard and figuring out how I want to do it. And yeah, I know you could use a stencil for that. My husband tells me that shit all the time. I don't fucking want to. I like to draw my patterns and textures by hand. Yes, I know it hurts. There's some things like I'll use stencils and stamps for. But yeah. It is. Oof. It takes forever, the yarn, y'all. But yeah. I really enjoy the Manic Shadow ship. There's not a lot of art or fan fictions for them yet that I've seen. I think I've posted I posted it on Tumblr, and there's like a person, their like whole blog is about Manic and Shadow, that ship, the Manadow ship. I think they have a different name for it. Cause like I didn't see any art of it, and I made it and I posted it. And so like I've got stuff. Oh, speaking of the Manadow ship, if you run into me at Sonic Expo, which will be in August, this will come out in June, so like in 2 months. I have printed. I made a comic book. It's a 6-page like little silly little comic book. It's based off of a fan fiction I wrote of Manic and Shadow. And if you run into me there, I have printed out copies of it. I printed out 10 copies of it. I'm thinking about signing them. Um, they're printed. They're great. I'll have those as well as this art print to give out to people. I'm just going to be giving art out. I've also I'm just excited and happy, and yeah, I'm very excited. And me trying to figure out yarn ball, how to draw yarn ball to be like some texture. And this would had a different pattern that I wanted shown compared to like Manic's, because like I had like different crochet yarn things to like look at their patterns up on like Chrome. And yes, I know you could use a stencil. And this is like where you can see like I drew guidelines that I will eventually erase as before going back. And it took so long. But I'm very excited for Sonic June. I'm going to be have my first Sonic cosplay, which is a Tails cosplay. And then I'm going to have my husband's cosplay. And so there's going to be possibly a video on that or something else. But if you're here for Sonic June, there will be a live stream every Saturday. One of them's gonna be the Sonic Bible, I believe. So look forward to that. Remember to stay safe, stay healthy, all that good jazz. Other things I'm doing, there's stuff went down with my book publisher, which was Draft to Digital. So I am doing publishing without them, but you can get my books on Amazon. So if you like cute, fluffy gay shit, which is kind of what I do, I have a book series legit called that, where I write cute, fluffy gay short stories. At the time of recording this, 2 of those stories are up. I'm editing the 3rd book, and so that will be up hopefully before June. But I'm also focusing more on getting the Sonic June videos up, because only 1 is up, and there's like a couple of animatics and voice acting that needs to be done for another one. So be on the lookout. Other ways you can get my books on Amazon, Ko-fi, my Patreon. Other places like you can support me are my Patreon. You get early access to all my art. You'll get early access to this silly little video. Other things that I've got Redbubble, you can get some of my art on there. Ko-fi, you can get my books. Coloring Pages, you can get the Manadow comic book off of there. You can download it, it's free. It's also on my Itch.io. All that's in like my link tree. My books are also on Itch.io as well. And my books are like $1, unless Patreon made me, they have like a $5 minimum. So I would recommend buy them off Amazon, Ko-fi, or my Itch.io. You'll get the PDF and the ebook EPUB file. So yeah, I've got some Manadow Sonic stuff. I've got more Manadow stuff planned and Baby Tail stuff planned. But now we're gonna thank the Patreon and Ko-fi supporters, because we're now at the end of this speed paint, and you can all see the final piece. Like, woo, it's so pretty. But thank you very much. TwdTeacakes, Axel 1154, Kaleidoscope Chick, Cassy G, Jdsj, Axel Alcaraz, Pizaneneene, Emilia Roja, Karen Quinn, SemiRandomSevens, and Micah. You're all awesome. Remember, any purchase on my Ko-fi or tip on my Ko-fi, your name's gonna be here for like ever. And if you're Patreon free or paid, your name is being read in the credits. So thank you all so much for being here, for supporting me, and I hope we all have a wonderful Sonic June. Bye bye.